Okay.
Okay, let's get started. We've got a lot to cover today. Thank you all for being here. I know we got a lot of changes going on, so I appreciate you taking the time. If I could get an idea from you, how many have attended one of the seminars at DFAR related to the purchase and sale agreement or listing agreement? Okay.
Raise your hand.
So, you know, what the sessions at DFAR will give you, they will be giving you a lot of information on the purchase and sale agreement just as it sits. You know, how it's a little different from the DFAR purchase and sale agreement. What Dennis is going to talk to us today is not only about some of those things, but more along the lines of the legal pieces, because there are some differences that occur within the two documents. So we want to make sure that we get to that. But there are a couple things we do want to make sure that we cover today. First of all, we'd like to welcome everyone. First, thank you for being here. I'd also like to introduce Bonnie Brady, who just joined us from another. There's a lot on the historic district, so just welcome her when you get a chance. Anybody else that I'm missing? Other than the faces that we don't usually see, which we're really happy to see. It's always really good. I learned the value of hard work by working hard. You guys, we talk about value, you know that's my word for this year. It's going to be a focus on value, and it's coming on the heels of June 1st, right? Documents are changing, things are changing. June 1st is coming, it's just around the corner. You're going to have to be good at expressing your value. And the value is more than what you do. What we think about sometimes when we say or when we ask you about what is the value that you're bringing, you say something to the effect of, well, I manage the contract. That's great, but there are 68 to 72 steps that happen just on a normal purchase and sale agreement contract that you're managing. What is in it for the person on the other side of the table, whether it's the buyer or the seller? That's where the value starts. So we're going to have a lot more discussions about how do I change what I do into a statement of value, because you should be creating some sort of a marketing sheet or some sort of a value sheet, because how difficult will it be for those of you who've been in the business 10, 15, 20 years and have a book of business and have to go to your customers and say, by the way, before we show a house, I need you to sign this document. Or when we haven't met people and we're just starting to get to know them, what is our process going to be so that we can say to them, hi, by the way, this is something that I'm required to do. And that's not going to be good enough. This is something I'm required to do. That's not going to work. So we're going to have to talk about value. We're going to have to create a bond or a relationship before or as soon as we get face to face. So it's going to be hard work, you guys. It's going to be change, but boy, will it bring about some changes in our industry too, right? Could there be a dissemination or a release of possible individuals?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe when they find out just how hard it is to do this, right? And it's not just put a sign in the yard that sells. Okay, great. Never lose, win or learn, right? So any big successes, just a couple of minutes we want to take for some big successes over the past couple of weeks. You guys are doing great on listings. That's wonderful. Your written business is up. Liz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of written business right now, which is good.
That's great.
Listing, so this is.
We see it all, and it's just nice to be able to share it. So, and I know that we want to move, and I don't want to discount the fact all the hard work that you're doing, and it shows in the numbers. We do want to cover that to make sure. I did want to introduce you to Billy Richards with Homes and Land, because you are going to have to start changing your toolbox. So you need to understand what valuable tools are out there to help you. Somebody this morning has already said, I had a listing, the seller is confused why it didn't sell in a week. Guess what? The market is different, right? It's not under contract in a week. You're right, it's not under contract in a week. Does pricing change? Yes. What are the stats in the market? How are we presenting that? What are we telling our customers? What are we telling the people that we're talking to? What are we telling the people that we're getting in front of? And how are we getting that information out? So we wanted to invite Billy to chat for a few minutes just to make sure that you are aware of a new, not a new, but a revised and updated tool in your toolbox. So Billy, come on up.
As many of you probably know, Homes and Land Magazine's been around. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary. And so we're kind of proud of that. The look of the magazine and within the last couple of years, so it has a different look. Many of you know, and you hear all the time, Print's dead, Print's dead, Print's dead. Well, I'm here to tell you that Print's not dead. And one of the fastest growing publications in the country are glossy, high, upscale printed magazines. And I would venture to say some of you get real nice glossy magazines delivered right to your house, whether it be Good Housekeeping or Sports Illustrated or whatever. There's more printed glossy magazines that's on the uprise, and there's actually printing more and more now than ever before, and it's actually increasing. I can't say so much about newspapers, and I actually used to work for newspapers, and but there's still a lot of newspapers around too. I mean, that's the way you want to go. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and when I first got into it, I'm thinking after the first few months, you know, working weekends, working nights, and so forth, I'm beginning to think, well, maybe I ought to be a realtor. And then I found out realtors are probably the only ones that work crazier hours than we do. Weekends, nights, taking text messages and phone calls at 11 o'clock at night. Who would think of doing something like that? But we all do that. So I can kind of consider myself a realtor. I grew up here in Jacksonville. I met my wife in high school at Inglewood High School. So I'm not new to the area, even though the magazine does say St. Augustine at the top, basically St. Johns County. We just increased our circulation all the way up to where Margaritaville, somebody told me in Atlantic Beach. My brother lives in Atlantic Beach, and we're adding stops all the time. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to say we use text codes, and the way a text code works, you just, if somebody's looking at your listing, they take out their phone, they put in a text code to see all the pictures, which that's what most people, if you're interested, you want to see more pictures, and don't necessarily want to call the realtor right now. So I'll send this text code, and they immediately get a link to see everything about your listing. But then we send that phone number to you, so you can follow up with it. So they are real leads. If you run a full page every time, like The Office, we'll put the top up here. We'll put the Legends of Real Estate at the top. And the listings, if you run 12, are only $58.50 per issue. I would like to think that everybody could at least afford $58.50. So set yourself apart. Everybody's online. Everybody has to spend a lot of money to do all that. But I would say set yourself apart a little bit. We're also mailing the magazine into different zip codes every time, right into the homes, up to 1,000 or more every issue. So if you want to do something like that, $58.50, we'll get involved. You can send me the listings, go online, pay the $58.50, or do it through the office. However, Audrey wants to do it, and we'll get you in here and help you set yourself apart from what everybody else is doing. One last thing, if you're in the magazine, we upload your listings to all of our partner sites. I don't know what you're paying for, but our luxury sites, if your listing's over 400,000, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Manson Global, DuPont Registry, you get all those things for free. If you run one listing in all those, it's about $2,000 a month. So it's real expensive, but you don't pay any extra. Okay, so if you want to get in and I can help you do some different kind of marketing, I'm glad to help you with it. Is there any quick questions? Nope. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Billy,
there are.
do we email you directly? Or
Well,
we-
that'll be up to Audrey how we want to do it. It helps me if we just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 listings, address, and MLS number. I put it together, send it out, send you the link to pay. But you may want to do it through the office somehow. I'll do it any way it makes it easiest to get you in there.
Well, it'll vary depending on how many ads we get. If we go to a half a page, what
Yeah,
is the
if you
cost on that?
Go to half page, it's 6 listings, $78 a piece. If you do 9 listings, it's $78 a piece, but then that would become a full page. If you do 12 like Caldwell Bankers doing here, it's $58.50 per listing. Okay?
Is that a monthly?
It comes out every 28 days. That way we're able to publish 13 copies a year. And by the way, there's a brand new box outside of the office in Jacks Beach. And so you'll be seeing it popping up a lot of different places. Question in the back.
What did you say the distribution was, each 28 days?
Every 28 days, we distribute, we print 9,000 magazines, and we mail up to 1,000 every month into different zip codes. And it looks like we're gonna have to increase the circulation because, just because we're covering a little bit more area now up at Ponte Vedra Beach, all that whole area of the beach, into the south side, south of Jacksonville, Mandra, St. John's, Blue Creek area. No, we're not in Nassau County. I mean, right now, we're only going up to like halfway into Jacksonville. Used to be a Jacksonville book, we owned it, but it kind of died out and when the COVID virus hit, we couldn't keep it going, but we were able to keep St. Augustine going. So magazines are there, business cards, last question.
Last question is your next issue and the deadline.
The deadline is actually this Friday for the Memorial Day issue. But it's easy for me to make a proof for you. If you give me 12 listings, agent name, MLS number, and address, we'll get your proof out really quick.
Okay.
But I'd have to have everything by Friday.
Okay.
Okay, otherwise we'll just get the next one. The schedules are printed on the second page when ads are due and so forth. If you want a media kit, just text me or email me and I'll send you a media kit.
And
Okay?
that's great for your presentation. And I'll send something out today and let's get a full page in. Let's get that lion in there.
Yeah, just 9 of you or 12, we'll have a full page every time, okay?
Let's see number of hands we want to
I'm
go
in,
in.
I'm in for 2.
2, 3,
I'm in
Yeah,
for
right there,
three.
We got probably a full page already.
Okay.
6.
All
Okay,
right,
great.
sounds
Thanks,
great.
Sergeant.
Cool.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Billy.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, so April successes, we definitely didn't want to miss this. So for our top listers for April, for the beaches, we had Shelley Lyle with 2, and San Jose, we had Amy Schrader with 3, and teams were quiet. Teams were quiet in April. And our company top lister was Shelley Lyle, so congratulations. Written business for the beaches, we had Kathy Gibbs with 2, congratulations. Amy Schrader with 3, and teams, we had the collective with 2. Amy Schrader out of San Jose office. Congratulations. For top producers for April, we had for the beaches, Maria Pappas with 5.6. And Ruth Knapp. We had Linda Selby with 6. So congratulations, some good business going on. Really nice to see that happening. Peak performers, written over $1 million in April. We had Holly McMurray with 1.7. Karis with 1.2, Gardner with $1 million, and the collective with 2.8. So
Very nice.
Great, congratulations. For peak performers closed business over $1 million, we had Maria Pappas with 5.6, Hazel with 3.5. 1.4. 1.1. And where are we? So how are we doing? Top 10 through April, we've got Maria with 7.6, Hazel with 6.8, Brett with 2.5, Evelyn with 2.4, Gina with 1.8, Missy with 1.7, Renee Hansen with 1.5, Holly with 1.5, Amy with 1.4, and Monica with 1.3. So
Nice
that's
job.
just where you wanted to be, think about where you are, and think about where you're looking to go. So third of the way there. Top teams. We're not going to tell you because we're going to keep it as a surprise. So our top teams, we had Tony Get You Home team with 3.7. There we go. Twice, so he's actually 6. It should actually be the collective at 3.2. And then Linda's salary was 630, so. All right. And again. It's always like that when you're trying to rush through something. Doesn't like to go backwards. It doesn't like to go forward. All right, let's see where we are. Maybe somewhere, we may be nowhere. Okay, here we go. Listings, so through the year to date through the listings, 42.8 million with 70 listings versus last year at 25 million with 57 listings. You have really taken listings on in a mean and furious way, which is fantastic. As we hit the strides in June and July with some of the changes, that's really going to be important that we maintain that listing inventory. Can't list, can't last, old realtors never die, they just go listless. You've heard me say it before. So just watch it, you wanna make sure, see where your listing inventory is, and check to see who might be an opportunity for you there. In that past list. All
Clark,
right,
before you
so-
go to the next thing, can I just make a comment on the listings for those of you, I know we've had some of the specialty signs. We do have posts, we have quite a few posts for those of you that have specialty signs. And so we've got them in the back of the office, so if you need them, you know, as long as, you know, until we're depleted, you can certainly borrow them and we'll keep them up. And we have somebody that will go, you know, for you for a nominal amount. It's like $30 to go and dig a hole and put them up, but don't buy a post if you don't need to. Just give me a call and we'll go back there and schlep one out and
Got some in
make sure
both
it's
offices.
coded and,
We've got them at both offices, so.
okay.
We would like to have, we would like to not have any at either office.
Zero. Zero.
There's your challenge.
I'll even go dig the hole, okay? I promise you, I can do it.
Written business, we're at 55.5 million, so we looked at about 7.4 million ahead of last year. I was 108 versus 118, so we've definitely increased the price point. But written business is up in a nice way, so thank you very much. And our closed business year to date, is up about 12.8 million. So congratulations, we're at 58 million, 58.3 versus 45 last year. So, I mean, any news that you read related to 2023, it was probably one of the toughest years for real estate in about 9 or 10 years. So you guys are doing great at leading the pack to try and come out of it. I know a lot of other brokerages aren't having that experience right now. And a lot of other offices are not having that experience right now. So congratulations to what you're doing and the way that you're putting it together. Not only to enter into what's going to be a little bit of a change, but to also enter into a time when the business is actually picking up, right? So we're heading into May, June, July, when we're already in May, aren't we? We're heading into June, July, there we go. When there's still a lot of people buying in order to move. And we understand that the interest rates are slightly different than they were 2 years ago, but just like with our sellers not selling in a week, we have to remind our buyers that the interest rate's not going to go down below 5 again, below 6 again. It's just not. It's just not. So if they're looking at 6.75 or even 7 versus 6.5, analyze what that is a difference in a payment. Work with one of our preferred lenders or preferred partners. Find out what that is, the difference in the payment, and help them understand, is that a doable thing or not? They have to make that decision, but sometimes they don't know. They think that interest rate, that change in interest rate is going to be an astronomical difference in their payment. And it may not be based on what they're trying to afford. So just helping them understand, I think, is really going to be a part of what we do. If you see any of the studies that come out of NAR, they're all talking about what our customers want from us, whether it's a buyer or a seller, they want information. They're looking to us to help guide them through changes. They're looking to us to help guide them through the process, and they're looking to us to help them guide them through all of the different pieces that occur, because they don't do this every day. Like even very experienced in buying and selling real estate, still don't do this every day like that. So that's off my little post for a minute, and we're gonna turn it right over to Dennis. So we're really grateful to have a partner like Landmark and a dedicated attorney like Dennis, who was willing to come in and talk to us about the differences in the FAR versus NEFAR purchase and sale agreement. So without ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Thanks for-
who does not have these, because we're printing them off you. Okay. Come on.
You didn't have the clicker, did you? You didn't use it?
I did, but I put it in
Do you have the attachment?
no, I left it up.
Oh,